Okay, we back on.
This 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 1. And it says, "And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as to babes in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." All right? Oh, God. This was Paul speaking about the different levels pretty much, because he said he can't speak to them as men who were spiritual, men who were well-versed in the knowledge. He had to speak to them as babes in the knowledge.
It will go over their head.
God, because it will go over their head, right? And then it says, verse 2, "I have fed you with milk and not with meat." So the milk is something more digestible, like the brother was going into babies. Babies can't have, the honey. Well, babies can't have milk, man. Can't have meat. So what do? You give them breast milk, and then you introduce them to maybe the mashed up squashes, and then you do the mashed up lentils, and then you build their ability to digest solid foods.
That's right.
And it's the same way with the scriptures, man. The elder Barack Obama always, I remember he would review my videos and he would always say, stick to the basics, because the basics is meat to the world.
Yeah, the milk is the meat to the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the milk is meat to the world, and that's deep, man, because it is. Like the stuff that we go into that's basic is actually meat unto the world, because they can't even wrap their head around it, man.
That's right.
And to add real quick, learning the milk is a foundation. Now, anything without a foundation, it won't be stable. It won't be strong enough to support. Yeah. So you have to. There's no shame in knowing the milk, right? Milk. The milk of the scriptures is good for you, man. Okay, that's the foundation of everything, man.
That's right. Let me finish. Yeah, I got one more verse. It says, "I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither ye are now yet now are ye able." All right.
You give a steak to a baby, the baby gonna choke because you can't. The baby don't have teeth. They can't chew it to break it down to smaller quantities and to swallow it. It will just choke.
And if I may add, now you're saying that babies, like our saliva helps us break down the food. So babies, those enzymes that help you, break down the meat, they're not there. So it's a perfect analogy onto what the brother was going into, that there's levels unto this thing, man. And this is the last verse. It says, For ye are yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions.
Because this, like, you come into this thing, you're on a carnal level. Certain things you won't understand. Like when you get a little more seasoned in this thing, you start understanding more spiritual things.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, and ye not carnal, and walk as men. All right. So, and then that's going to go into when those people, when the brothers are talking about, I am of Apollos, or I am of this person. Basically, Paul was going into how none of that matters, man. All you got to do is just stick to the basics, and none of us are of any man. God, at the end of the day, it's about the truth, and it's about Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. It don't matter who or what you learn from, man. It's just that you're doing the work now.
That's right. 1 Peter 2, I'm going to start at 1. It says, "Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guiles and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings."
Yeah, man. When you come in this truth to be a part of the brotherhood, we ain't supposed to be hating on another brother because he knows something that you don't. We're supposed to humble yourself and ask our brother, "Hey, brother, can you help me break down, the scriptures, give me more understanding?" And that brother is going to help you break down the scriptures and give you more understanding. That's what the brotherhood is for, man. We're here to all help each other, man. We ain't here to put each other down. That's niggas of the world, man. Okay?
Right.
When we're in this truth, it's one body, and we're all a part of that body doing different things to make the body work, man.
That's right.
It says, "Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings."
That's an assessment, So, like, when you come into this faith, you're making an assessment on yourself. So, because we picked up with the things in the world, so we come into the truth. know, you got to go through that assessment and, you know, get rid of those things that's undesirable.
Old man.
Old man. Put on the new man. That's what scripture really means when it says about the new wine. You can't put new wine to old bottles. It's not really talking about you can't teach an old guy. Now the new what they used to do in ancient times was they had the what it's called because a flax made out of leather, but the leather bag was stretched out through the wine fermented. So you put new wine into that old bag, it will overstretch out and it will leak out the wine. So it's really the old bottles represent your old self. You can't put this word into a person that still have the state of mind of the world. You gotta become a new person. That's the new wine, put in new bottles.
It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word.
So that also represents new wine bottles coming as a newborn baby.
It says, It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gracious.
That's right.
This is Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. And it says,
hold on. Before you get that,
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
This
is the book of Peter.
You
got that?
5 and 12.
Oh, no.
I got it. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of the Most High. That's right, because when you come into this truth, okay, you got to forget about everything you learned in the world. Okay, that's why the Most High set up teachers. Okay, the prophets of the Lord, to teach the brothers that are coming in. Okay, to teach them who they are. Okay, who they always been. So once they find out who they've always been, they gotta forget about who they thought they were. They gotta forget about all the things well, not everything you learn from the word, because there's things that you learn that you knew that are righteous. But all the things that are wicked, all the things that ain't gonna benefit you, ain't the
Try to prove it the Most High.
Exactly. Exactly, like the brother stated. Everything that's not of the Most High, you gotta forget about that. And are become such as have need of milk. That's right, because when you come into this truth, okay, you need to start off slow. You need to learn the basics, the fundamentals. Okay, like a baby. When a baby is born, you can't give a baby meat. You can't give a baby rice and potatoes. You gotta give babies milk first. Then you start off giving them other foods that are mashed up and that are soft, easy to digest. Okay, basic scriptures, easy to understand.
And if I can add too, that milk that the baby is eating is more nutritious than the meat at first, because they tell like the milk that the baby got to drink from the mom is more nutritious for the baby. They're trying to stuff solid food in that baby's mouth anyways. So when you come to the truth as a baby, the milk is going to be more nutritious to us, because that's the only thing that we can digest anyways. That's the only thing that's going to help build us up to be stronger.
And are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. That's right, because when we teach a brother that comes into the truth, okay, we're not going to give that brother deep scriptures. We're not going to give that brother deep scriptures. We're going to give that brother the milk, the basic scriptures, the basic understanding, okay, and build that brother up. Like how when you have a child, you build that baby up. That baby grows to be strong and healthy.
That's right. Yeah, because just to go off what the brother's saying, because the scriptures, there's a lot of knowledge in the scriptures, man, and the scriptures is something that anything could be a stumbling block onto you if your spirit ain't ready for it. And it was the same exact case when Yahushua was on the scene. So this is Matthew chapter 13, verse 10. And it says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? And a parable is almost like a riddle. It's using normal words, but the words are in a certain order where you're not even really too sure of what's going on. And that's an example of something that's meat. There's a lot of parables in the scriptures that are meat, that a new brother coming in might not necessarily have the ability to understand, And he said, it says, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And additionally, this is also going into the 2/3 versus the 1/3, man. There's going to be people who are just not going to get it because the Lord didn't give them the knowledge and the spirit to understand it. But at the same time, it can also go into new people coming in, man. It's not given unto them at this time. You know, like the brother went into with his testimony about the first verse of Genesis, man. And that's how the Lord works. And that's how everything works. Everything in the world works the same way. You know, you need to build a steady foundation. You know, you get a new job, they're not going to have you, you know, driving the crane or whatever and picking things up. You know, they're going to have you, or go pick this up, go grab the garbage or whatever, just to see what your abilities are.
Gotta get certified first too, man.
God.
Yeah, I didn't finish.
Oh,
Back
God.
in the
If you do know how to do it, you know, you got to learn how they operate the business, you know.
That's
you
right.
just go in there, going to be a supervisor, a manager. You got to learn how. First, you got to learn the people there, and then you got to learn how they do things. You know, you got to move according to how they do things, and then later on, you go to humble. That's how it goes in. You go humble, because you got some guys too. They come in, we always knew this, like a know-it-all. You can't come in the truth as a know-it-all, and you see guys like that get swept away. That's what Scripture says as newborn babies. They've always knew this. I know. Ain't about what you always know, about what you know now.
That's
or
right.
what you gotta learn for salvation.
That's right.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah, Khan, I didn't finish in the book of Hebrews. I left off 2 verses. So I'm back in the book of Hebrews chapter 5 verse 13. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
Bring it up.
Okay, Khan. So for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. That's right, because when you come into the truth, okay, you're not going to be able to break down these deep scriptures, okay? For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word. You're unskillful because you're still learning, okay? You still need to learn this skill, this trade, okay, that was given unto us from Yahweh Shai, okay? We're still learning. I'm still learning, and I've been in this truth for a little while.
You start off as an apprentice. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's what it is. You start off as an apprentice, and then you become, you grow to a master builder. You know, that's how it is.
That's right. Verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age. That's right. Brothers that have been in this truth for a while, for a minute, okay? They could go into the deep scriptures. They have more experience than a brother that's been in the truth only a year. Maybe that, you know what I'm saying? They have more experience. They've been through more things in this truth, in this walk of Yahweh Shai.
Perfect example, our apostles, our spiritual fathers.
They're skillful, man. And you know what I'm saying? Someone that just comes into the truth ain't gonna be as skillful, man, as someone that's full of age. You know, someone that's has experience in this truth. Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. That's right, man. Because when you're full of age, when you're experienced, okay, you're able to read spirits, okay, good spirits, evil spirits. You're able to understand things clearer, and you have a clearer vision, man, because you've been through a lot. You've been through more. Okay,
You can make a proper judgment. You know, proper discretion.
May I say something? You finished?
Yeah.
God. One of the things that happened to me when I first came into this truth, I remember, I forgot if we were at the Cloisters or back at 34th, but I'll never forget it because it really humbled me down. Apostle Tahar lined us up, and he was like, if you haven't been in this truth, I think he said 10 years, and up, you don't know nothing, man. You're still a babe, and you know, knowledge puffing up. So I'm in the camp now. You know, I've been maybe, it might have been a few months. So I'm like, oh, you know, I was feeling good. But that really humbled me because he's like, you know, if you don't got at least 10 years, you know, he said a guy can have 5 years and you got to watch that guy. And you know, hey man, like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, damn, like 5 years, you know, I'm like, you know, just still simple. But now I understand what it means because like, you see these brothers who, you know, like this brother right here, like the elders and even the apostles, even when they break down a basic scripture, it's different than when any of us will break it down because the experience that they got. and the examples, it's just not. It's not the same.
You know, the scripture says
It's not the
this.
same.
You know, the scripture said. I was having a conversation with another brother. We was talking about the scriptures is allowed. Like, there's so many layers on top of layers. You think you got it. Still read it again. It's another layer we don't even know. And it go deeper. That's why it's known as living waters. Like, I came into this. I was a teenager when I came to this. Now I'm a grown man with 2 kids. I didn't have a car. I lived with my mother. You know, so I was fresh out of high school. But you know, who we had was the our elders. You know, model a format, how they conducted themselves, how they did things, how they broke down the scriptures. You know, same thing. Brothers come in, learn from other brothers. Learn like this. That's why it says you have many instructors of Yahushua. You have one father. You know, because what happened is, you know, you brothers now, other brothers gonna come in. Y'all instructors now. You guys gonna be examples. So, but you're just one father. We learn from the apostles to heart on down.
That's right.
So there's many instructors. Other words, examples.
That's right.
I just want to say this too, man, because what you just said, it makes it so much clearer now. Because when you used to read the scriptures, you was just reading it, but now the experiences that you go through, you really start seeing the scriptures like come to life, man.
You thought you had HD.
Yo, man.
What's I'm not too much into like TV.
Like
It's
4K.
Yeah, 4K. Yeah. You thought the shit is good. Well, what's the next? What's the next up and coming?
8K is supposed
That's
to be.
8K. That's
So
you whole time you watching them. What's below 4K? You watching before you watching that. Matter of fact, you watching
1080p.
You watching
1080p.
1080p.
You watching
Exactly.
black and white with little grains in it, man.
Exactly. So it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. You know, you just keep going deeper.
Cell phones, same thing. Cell phones, they started with beepers, you know, then cell phones, and then you had the flip phone, then you had the color screen, then you had the touch screen.
You thought you had a Nokia back then, you thought you was shit. You know? Nokia. Oh, the sidekick.
The sidekick, that was the shit. Yeah.
I got
shit back in the world.
Isaiah 28:9, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are, it says them that are weaned.
Let's break down whom he talking about. So read it again.
It's Isaiah 28:9, whom shall he teach knowledge?
Now the he is referencing towards the Most High. Now the whom is referenced towards man. Okay?
And it says, whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Okay?
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts.
So that's a person that you know, that you know, went through that baby stage all over again. So you got to learn the milk scriptures, and you know the basics. So that's the one the Most High gonna understand the scriptures to. Go ahead.
It says, for precept must be upon precept.
Because even like Deuteronomy 28 chapters is deep to the people in the world. Breaking down what is sin is deep to people in the world. You know, color script, that's deep to certain people in the world. So just having that is deep. So I remember when I first came into this thing, man, like, I know y'all probably did this too. You know, little Joe Witness knocking your door. Oh man, I'll have a field day, man, a little sparring. You know, like what did this scripture mean? What color's the Lord? You know, I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. You know, because I'm a lot more relaxed than I was before. But you know, a lot of stuff that's basics. You know, you see, it's deep to them. I could throw them. You know what scripture always hit them with? What's that? Genesis 1:19. And it says, the Lord power said, "Let us make man in our image." I'll ask for who us? Who's God talking to? Like himself. I'm like, why God even talking to himself? He could create something. This is the creator. He need to talk to himself. He could create anything in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's always mess with their fucking mind. Little basic shit. Go ahead.
Isaiah 28:10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept.
Matter of fact, when I first started learning, I was in the summer youth shit. Yo, see, I was young, so you know, it's crazy. You know, I'm in a job, and then it was a Salvation Army shit. So you know, they got a little church thing going. Man, they try to come at me with the scriptures and shit, and then I, you know, like, well, scriptures say this, scriptures say that. And I used to go back and forth with them in the scriptures. You know, I was young, I didn't know any better. I'm doing all of that, quoting